Like the past several years, I think there would be continued emphasis on infrastructure and infrastructure spending in this budget as well. It's the need of the hour of the country, and the present government, which has been in power for several years now, has been well versed in understanding the role of infrastructure. When I consider what would be the priorities of the government, I think there are sort of three clear themes which emerge in the sector. The first one is, so continuing to encourage more private investment in the sector. To be entirely fair, there has been a slight tepidity in the amount of private capital that is actually coming into infrastructure, and some structural failures and some concerns around, say public corruption have not been helpful. So the government needs to emphasize and needs to prioritize encouraging private capital to continue to come into the sector on a long-term sustainable basis. The second theme that I see a lot of emphasis on is the sort of incorporation of technology in infrastructure, and even sort of brick and mortar infrastructure being increasingly reliant and leveraging technology, artificial intelligence in delivering infrastructure services. So I expect to see enabling platforms for data centers. I expect to see continued investments in smart grids and smart meters, and sort of a continuous creating that technology ecosystem for infrastructure. The third theme that I can think of and I think would be of continued importance is climate change, and that obviously is a priority for a country which is geographically one of the most vulnerable to extreme weather conditions. As part of that, I see the government continuing to move away from fossil fuels and encouraging the adaptation of, let's say, EV technologies, but also other alternatives to fossil fuels, let's say hydrogen for sort of long-term fuel requirements. In terms of the actual continued capital expenditure, I would expect that there would be about a 20% increase, because I think that there is a need of the hour, from moving from 11 trillion, which was there in the last budget, to somewhere in the region of 11.5, 11.6 trillion. It's a large increase from 24-25, but it's the need of the hour. Thank you very much.